I remember that meeting taking place in Eddie's trailer, but I don't remember any of the words because all I had was the theme to Blade Runner running through my head. So I'm staring at James Halls, knowing that I'm in this trailer. Holy God! That and the drums from Miami Vice was
Aaron, I have a question for you. Fantastic! Did learning you were one of the final 5 Cylons change how you approach play, Tyrrell?
You know what? Yeah. Right there's fine. Just put it right there. There you go. Yeah, normally I don't. It took me a while to figure out being on BattleStar and working, and I kept asking the directors. I'd ask Michael Reimer a lot. Nobody's giving me any direction. What am I doing wrong? He said, no, you're doing everything right. Just keep going. Oh, okay. I thought nobody's talking to me. I was screwing up. I don't make any choices when I act. I don't break down lines. I don't put it into beats. I don't attach verbs and adverbs. And anybody who's done any kind of acting school, this is what they do. You slice, you cut, you woo her. I don't know what the hell that means. Give me a beer. Give me a beer and I'll woo the hell out of her. So I have no idea what I'm doing, and I make no real conscious choices. People say, what's your acting advice? I say the words as simply as you possibly can. That's all you do. But when I found out that Chief was a Cylon, I thought, I'm going to actively make a choice, and I want to see if it worked. And I was terrified that it wouldn't work, because I was thinking beforehand what I was going to do. But I made it that everything suddenly made sense. So when you see the beginning of season 4, and when Anders and Tyrrell get caught at the Viper, and Starbucks walks in, and Starbucks? When the coffee shop walked in and caught us, the Marines, Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, we were, I thought, you know what it would be? It's like, have a little smile. Like, when we landed on the planet in the middle of the thing and it's all burnt out and it's a wasteland and everybody's like, and they're playing with jacks and finding bones. Chief's standing there going, of course it's burned out. Of course, yeah, we do all that and this is what happened. So it was my active choice, and then I started getting calls from the producers who said, we love it. We absolutely love it. We think it's great. So other than that, no.
Have a question from this side?
This question is for Mr. Olmos. I asked Mary McDonald the same question last year because in his commentary, Ron said when he wrote the scene that first showed Dama and Rosalind intimate in bed in season 4.5, that he was surprised to learn that to him that was the first time the two of you have ever been intimate, or your two characters, and you guys thought that this had already happened at just some point off screen prior. So when do you think?
It happened every night. Before we went to bed, we'll wake up in the morning. It was fantastic. Rosalind was hot. Eddie voted for her every day.
Now, I would imagine it probably happened in around, I don't know, God almighty. It's hard to say. I'd have to go back and look at it again and to really see when we started to look at each other any differently. There were moments, I guess. I often thought that we probably would have gotten it together the day we were smoking joints by the riverbed. I said, I was feeling really good. And she had just found it on the side of the river. She said, I just found this over there. Wow. Really nice. It was funny because they kind of no one ever said anything about it as to what it was or anything. I mean, no commentary on it whatsoever. We just smoked it. And then, of course, we did it again towards the end of the last season, the very last couple of episodes. When she was in bed, she brought it out of the book, and we smoked again. And it was beautiful. But I don't really know. We'd have to come to terms with that one. But in my mind, right now. Wish you guys were there.
Question from this side?
Yes, so this is a question for Aaron Douglas, and you actually already asked a question I was thinking of asking, but I was wondering, your character has always seemed pretty tragic throughout. It seems that you kind of come to something good and then immediately have it taken away. And I was wondering if you, as an actor, were ever frustrated that your character was always put in these situations where he was on the losing end of whatever side he was going for.
Life imitates art, and never more true in my life. No, I love it. It's great. When they give you some really, really challenging stuff, you have to see that as an opportunity and something wonderful. Otherwise, you're playing Apollo, and you're just the new Apollo. And you're just kind of bored, and you show up and you don't say anything, and you're a glorified extra. And sure, you go to the gym and look hot, but who cares, because you're not saying anything. So I'm a fat guy that everybody watches. The only time it was difficult is, some of you probably know this, but between season 1 and season 2, I lost my wife in life. And so the beginning of season 2, for the first 5 episodes, somebody either had just died, was dying in my arms, or was about to die. So it was 2 or 2.5 months of constant dealing with death. And I remember we got to the end of the year, and Ron Moore came up to me, and we were having a dinner, and he said, "Boy, you really did some great work this year." And I said, "Thanks." He goes, "I know that must have been tough." And I said, "You have no idea." And because I didn't tell anybody. And I was still kind of like on the periphery at that point. And he said, "Well, what do you mean?" And I told him, and he was just ashen-faced and horrified because he didn't want me to think. And some writers will take what's going on in your life as an actor and put it into the script so they can get a better performance, which is just crazy. He thought that maybe I would think that he was doing that on purpose, and I should have known. I know that you didn't know. And but it was good. It was a cathartic thing in life, and also in my work to sort of deal with it. It was really kind of weird, bizarre, showing up at work every day doing that. But it's helped me along, helped me heal to a point. But yeah, that was the only time that it got sort of really, really tough for me. Yeah. Hey, she's in a better place, and she's a lovely, lovely person, so we can all smile and think fondly of Debbie.
Mark, as I mentioned in your intro, you've played a lot of bad guys. Romo seems to be one of the first really prominent good guys you played. So, but he still had this edginess to him. How did you approach playing Romo?
Hey, thank you, Eddie. Bad guy? Who plays bad guys? I've never played a bad guy in my life. No such thing as a bad guy. There's people with morally opposed opinions and alternate agenda, all sorts of fun stuff. Romo's one of the greatest things that ever happened to me in my entire life. I'll lay this out in a quick way. I was a huge fan of BattleStar before I was ever on the show. Massive fan of BattleStar. I thought it was one of the cleverest, most intelligent shows that was there. I was hooked from 33 onwards. As soon as I saw 33, that was it. I remember sitting there, literally grabbing the arms of my chair, just from the amount of stress I was exhibiting. It's like, oh my God, they cannot possibly sustain this the whole way through an episode of television. It was fantastic. I was hooked. My wife was not a big sci-fi fan, and she was hooked instantaneously. Jessica was hooked instantaneously on BattleStar, and it was just fantastic to watch. And I knew Ron, and I knew some of the guys through other people, and it was always my dream to be on the show. And an incident came up where there was something that I was going to be on, and it didn't work out, and they didn't tell me. And then when I found out, I really believed I would never ever get an opportunity to be on BattleStar. And then one day, Ron calls me to his house to fix his network for his Mac. I get calls from executive producers. It could be a series, or it could be, could you please fix my computer? It's the most wonderfully humbling experience. I should trust it. It's great. I don't mind either. Either one works for me. And he goes, "Oh, I have something for you." I'm like, "What?" He goes, 3 episodes of BattleStar. And I was like, "What?" He goes, I think you'll really like this character. It's different than what you usually do. And I know he knew my work, so he wasn't being flippant that way. And I read it, and I was like, oh my God, what are they doing, you know? And I came into this situation, I came to a show that was already established, that these people had the most amazing relationships with each other. And immediately, past the initial, who the hell is this guy response, I was brought in, helped and loved from that moment onwards, and made part of an extraordinary family, a collaborative, beautiful,
Handsome.
handsome, well,